Tech for Dev, just a little introduction. It's a nonprofit social enterprise that uses technology to tackle unemployment and foster financial freedom in Africa. At Tech for Dev, we strive to create access to decent work and entrepreneurship opportunities and platforms for African youths through digital skills empowerment. So we believe so much in African youths, and we also do a lot of advocacy. The Women Techsters Initiative is just one of our flagship programs, and we have the goal to bridge the digital knowledge divide between men and women, and also secure equal opportunities for women as well. As we go further into the event, please note that you are free to tweet if you can tweet. Tweet using the hashtag Women Techsters Open Day and WT Open Day July to tweet the lessons, the nuggets you pick up during the conversations. Shortly, I'll be introducing the Executive Director of Tech for Dev, Oladepo, to give a welcome address. But before I do that, I'll just run you through the flow of the event. So we'll start with a welcome address, and then I'll introduce Oladepo, and then we'll be having a fireside chat between Oladepo, the Executive Director of Tech for Dev, and Rama Safty, our distinguished guest of honor. She is the former country manager of Andela, Egypt, and we're so glad to have her here today. After the fireside chat, we'll see a video of a Women Techsters alumni. I wouldn't want to let the cat out of the box, so just hold on. The video will really inspire you and to motivate you and strengthen your conviction to choose tech. After the video, we'll have another panel between some women that have already built successful careers in tech. They will be sharing their experiences and how they got into tech, just to motivate you and inspire you, and also answer the questions, many questions you may be having in your mind about tech and how to go about it. So just get ready to listen to their conversation. And then I'll come right back again and tell you more about the Women Techsters Initiative and how you too can benefit from it. After that, we'll have an interview of someone that have benefited from the program. Her name is Oladiwura, and she'll be here joining us live to talk about her own personal story and how she scaled through and how she actually got into tech. Then we'll close with an announcement and closing remarks. So don't worry, just stay tuned. Promise not to take too much of your time. It's going to be a very, very, very interesting event. So we'll be going straight into the welcome address by Oladepo. She's the co-founder and executive director of Tech for Dev. She's also a social entrepreneur who is passionate about helping people and organizations create value and make a social impact while at it. This passion is what drives her to do the work she does at Tech for Dev. She has a Master's of Advanced Management degree from Yale School of Management and an MBA from the Lagos Business Group and Atlantic University. She also serves on the executive board of the Lagos Business School Alumni Association. Dura is passionate about a world of no poverty. She believes in improving people's livelihood by giving them access to financial independence and creating equal opportunities. She firmly believes that this will ultimately reduce the rate of poverty in nations. And so we are so excited and glad to have Dura here join us live today at the Open Day event for July. Hi, Dura. Good evening.
Hi, Joy. Good evening. Well, it's evening in Nigeria right now, so good evening. Thank you so much. I mean, reading out that profile sounds so fancy. I think this is one of the very first times in a long time that I've had my profile read out, and I just like, oh, wow, is that really me? Right? But thank you so much. All right, welcome, everyone. Welcome. And thank you so much for joining us on the 6th edition of our virtual Women Techsters Open Day program. We're excited and elated to have women from across Africa join us today to learn about how to pursue their interests in technology. Tech for Dev is a non-profit organization that creates access to decent work and entrepreneurship opportunities and platforms for Africans through digital skills empowerment and advocacy. Our vision is to equip Africans with digital and life skills that foster economic prosperity, financial freedom, and sustainable development. The Women Techsters is an initiative of Tech for Dev and in partnership with Microsoft that aims to bridge the digital divide between men and women in the technology ecosystem. Through our pilot program, the Nigerian Women Techsters, we have enabled almost 3,000 women between the ages of 16 to 40 across Nigeria to ignite interest in pursuing careers and businesses in technology. Driven by the success stories of these amazing and numerous women on the program, we have carved a new ambition and a dream to replicate this model across Africa. We're providing more women now access to opportunities to launch careers in technology. Our dream by 2030 is to reach 5 million women across Africa by empowering them with the knowledge and skills to partake in the technology industry in Africa and at the world at large. We believe that empowering change for women across Africa, as well as providing them opportunities to access employment and entrepreneurship opportunities, will help achieve a 50-50 male to female ratio balance in the technology space. The Women Techsters Open Day, which is what we are here for today, is a monthly virtual program organized for women across Africa to learn about leveraging the power of technology to start and advance their careers, and also create technology and technology-enabled businesses. The Open Day is an opportunity for women to interact with other successful women who have built careers or businesses in technology over the years, and who will share their personal experiences, speak about possible career and business opportunities, and help women appreciate the importance of acquiring digital and deep tech skills in this digital age. I won't say this so lightly, but we appreciate Microsoft for collaborating with us to bring this initiative to life. We look forward to impacting and improving the economic realities of women across Africa. Once again, I would like to really appreciate everyone for being here today, and all you amazing and wonderful women who are here to learn on how to commence your journey to becoming women in tech. And I look forward to a wonderful conversation for today. Thank you so much, and over to you, Joy. Over to you, Joy.
Thank you very much, Dura. Thank you for such a wonderful address. Thank you. And in case you're just joining us, that was Dura Oladepo. She's the Executive Director at Tech for Dev. And this is the Open Day event. It's the Open Day. And this event is solely organized for African women to learn about how to leverage technology for career and business growth. Maybe some of you might be hearing about technology, you don't actually know how to use it, how to leverage it. But at the Open Day event, you'll be learning how to leverage it for your career and for your businesses. So remember to tweet your nuggets from this session using the hashtag Women Techsters Open Day and WT Open Day July. Shortly, I'll be introducing Rama Safty. We're so privileged to have her join the meeting today. And she's going to be interviewed by Dura Oladipo. Rama is a seasoned global executive with over 20 years of experience in the technology sector, with diverse experience in sales and distribution, operations, business transformation in high growth and M&A scenarios. As former Andela's country director, a technology company that's solving the global technical talent shortage, Rama built and launched Andela Egypt while positioning it as a tech company leader in the tech ecosystem, as well as the home of great tech talent. Before joining Andela, Rama led teams at IBM, Lenovo, and Dell, and she worked across different continents, moving from Cairo to Dubai to Paris. She recently moved back to Egypt to act on her long-term desire to help build the future of technology in her home country. Egypt, I'm envious of you right now. Her energy and passion for building a great organization in Africa are contagious. In her words, dare to dream, believe in yourself, follow your passion, and help build a better world. Rama holds a BSc in computer science from the American University in Cairo and an executive MBA from HEC Paris in general management and entrepreneurship. We're so glad to have Rama join the Open Day event today. And Dura Oladipo is going to come back again and hold the conversation with Rama. Please stay tuned with your questions, because I also want to learn. I want to know how Rama got to, build such a great portfolio. So I'm also here to learn. I'm here with my jotter. Get your jotter and your pen, right? Dura, over to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Joy. I mean, I'm sure that every woman in here right now is listening to Rama's profile. And the first thing which should jump out to anyone will be, in my own words, like, wow, this is amazing, right? How is it possible for someone to have achieved this much? And I mean, looking through Rama's profile and hearing Joy just talk through her profile, there was something that came out and struck me. And it's in Rama's words, like it says, dare to dream, believe in yourself, follow your passion, and help build a better world. And I think I'll start right on that note. Is the first question to Rama is just, I mean, these are such powerful words, right? And anyone just looking through it is like, this sounds exciting, but I would like to know, what does it really mean? You're telling me to dare to dream, right? You're telling me to believe in myself and follow my passion. What does that really mean for you as a person and for every other woman who is out here in terms of encouragement?
Thank you. First of all, everyone, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. And thank you for having me today. I hope I could touch many of you young girls and ladies, light the fire, and have you leave the session by saying, I'd love to be a woman in tech, or I want to be a woman in tech. That's going to be really here my start. So to your question here about, dare to dream. Actually, this is something that I really kind of like lived it over with myself in a transition stage of my career journey. So after really having achieved a lot of most than of my mid-career journey, I said, it's time to go for a really, really big challenge, get out of my box. And basically, this is what I said, there is still a lot to learn. I can still give more. So dare to dream, believe in yourself, follow your passion. I'm still in tech. I love tech. There is a lot to learn. Every day is a learning experience. Every experience is a learning experience. So my passion has always been in tech. So I wanted to still pursue technology, still pursue career in this field, but explore other opportunities, learn more. When you feel like you're getting into much of a comfort zone, this is where you say, no, it's time to get out of here, look for something more challenging, even take risk. They can be calculated. But then from there, I basically came out of this kind of slogan that would basically help me find my next mission, let's say.
Oh, wow. I mean, that sounds so powerful. That sounds so powerful. And if I would take away one thing, I mean, even right before we start this out, and it's just carved out of that following your passion. I mean, it's just that idea of daring to dream. It's something that a lot of women struggle with, and we have seen over the course of the years of work that it is that we do, is that women dream in their corners, right? But they're not able to activate the dreams that it is that they have because of several reasons. I mean, because of some are societal, meaning that what people perceive of women in terms of societal roles, women feel like, oh, okay, it's just okay for me to dream about, I might dream, for example, that I want to become the president of Facebook, for example. I just think in my mind that, oh, it's something that I dream about, but it's not something that can actually come to pass or come to reality because it's not for me, or I don't see myself in that kind of space. But hearing you and seeing you, I mean, at the top of that ladder, it shows the women here that if you do indeed dare to dream, I know that there's a saying that says the sky is your limit, but beyond that is that you can actually really do achieve anything that it is you set your mind to do. So I mean, fantastic and amazing words, literally carved on gold from Rama. And I think that just sort of leads me to my next question. I mean, just sort of like aiming a bit on what you had said earlier. I know there's quite a number of women here in terms of the statistics that it is that we've drawn from prior to this program are looking to, start out their careers in tech. Some of them have already dabbled a bit into tech, but they're not even quite sure that that's where, they want to, it's not a pathway that they want to continue with going forward, right? Because they're like, oh, I've tried my hands, I've joined maybe like a 2-week boot camp or like a 3-day class in coding. I'm not quite sure this is for me. So those are the kind of some of the women that we have here today who are just really trying to understand what it means to start out a career in tech as a woman. And my very first question is just right around, what is the best way, right, as from your own experience over the years, what is the best way that you have found, that helps to promote the efficiency of women who are just starting out careers in tech, or people who have already been in tech and are sort of at junior levels looking for how to climb the ladder beyond where it is that they are right now?
Right. So in other words, maybe if I would like to rephrase your question, is it like, what is like we looking at the future now and the future in tech in general, and mostly in Africa and the Middle East, what would be my words of encouragement maybe to them, how to get started, what they need to do, correct? Exactly. So I would say a lot, if you look at it today, the world is changing. Technology is developing at a phenomenal pace and disrupting businesses. As a result, the world is requiring more engineers, developers, coders, data analysts to run the business. Some of the courses that I've run through and in my readings, it talks about software. Software is eating the world now. It's embedded in our day-to-day, and only few industries, if none of them, are immune. So as a matter of fact, today is a new age of tech-focused, even leaders to deliver improved efficiency. So not only we're talking about beginners or junior career, but also leaders are more and more required to be tech-driven leaders. That has proved to be more into today's arena of technology-driven global workforce, that they improve the efficiency, they come with greater innovation and give better customer experience. So do we need to say more? This is the era really of bits and bytes. The main niche has become those who can speak the digital language, those who can code. So in this rapidly evolving tech field, the players, the skills needed change fast, very fast. It's up to you girls to explore, to learn, to succeed, while in the process discover what works best for you. You need to grow your skills. You need to take it up yourself and ongoingly evolving, stay on top of every single thing in the industry trends. And, have the courage to say simply, go girls, get a place for yourself in tech. Today, it's time for tech and it's time for women in tech. This is how I would be really kind of like pushing the girls today. It's our time today.
All right, thank you so much. All right, thank you so much, Rama. I mean, I'm just going to pick from one of the things that you said and just add sort of like an additional question to that. I'm sure that some women here they hear you say, grow your skills, and then they're asking themselves, how exactly should I grow my skills enough to be able to ensure that I get a good placement, like within an organization or within my dream organization? In what other ways or in what best ways can I grow my skills as a young woman who is trying to start out a career in tech?
Well, definitely there are many venues, and now it's more and more easier to access, online courses, whether even provided by initiatives the likes of here, where we talk about Tech for Dev, about some government organization. New EdTech is becoming everywhere. I would start from my experience. If I need to share mine, it's become, you're already in a place, in a company, you're starting your career very junior, very technical, let's say. You need to be very much on top of what is basically the minimum requirements or prereqs for your own job. And from here, when you start being more diverse in terms of serving or cross-functional in terms of your delivery and service and support during your current job, you start looking for other area where you feel like there is a gap. So it's going to be, again, somehow between your self-assessment in terms of your experience. You're watching a gap, you want to grow here. So what about taking this class or course, part of, let's say, what's the company is providing in terms of learning programs? This is something more or less set in tone in many companies when you start working with them. If it's not the case, we can talk about mentorship. Again, mentorship does not have to be inside the company you are. Maybe it's very small startup, you're just beginning with as a programmer, developer in a very, 4 or 5 teams, etc. But I would still always encourage the young girls or the junior early starter of their career to look for a mentor. It doesn't have to be official. It's like you seek someone who is very approachable, someone you trust, someone that you want to replicate in terms of what you see him or her as a role model. And from there, this mentorship relationship would provide you with insights, with direction in terms of what you need to acquire to fulfill your objective. So you must have already an objective, which is basically your current one. So you know what's required to basically best can do, fulfill your current job. Then you have always some kind of a +2 career development plan. So that requires X, Y, Z class or course. Let me go for them, or at least state that I want to take them. And if it's not within my community, then go outside, because everything now is connected thanks to technology. Again, you can easily access this by the third parties or available publicly in any community online, or you heard from colleagues, etc., about this is accessible, etc., on your own. Invest in yourself. I mean, like for example, myself, when I did my executive MBA in HSA, it was like mid-career term. Nobody asked me to do it. I didn't feel like maybe there is a gap, but there was some sort of time where I was in transition. The way I thought of it was mainly invest in yourself. The best thing, if you want to say about your, as an advice, is invest for yourself. So that was basic what I did. You kind of leverage many of your experience that you captured during your first, or let's say mid-career journey, plus added to yourself additional skills and knowledge that were basically more at the corporate level, etc., that paved the way for a further executive or senior leadership, etc., career to yourself.
That's super interesting insight. And I mean, just to the ladies here, there are thousands of out of nuggets that Rama is just throwing out there that I think that we should pick up. I know she's spoken about the importance of mentorship in terms of your career growth within the technology space. And I know that our industry experts panelists are still going to further flesh out conversations around mentorship, such as things that Rama is speaking about, mentorship, growing yourself, putting in additional effort, putting in additional time, to groom yourself in terms of you could take courses online and you could attend courses that I know, such as courses that Tech for Dev is offering for women Techsters. I know Joy is going to speak about that sometime down the line, but I mean, there are numerous opportunities out there that I just strongly believe that it's available for us to take ownership or to take a part of it. And this just leads me to sort of another question that I have for Rama. And we've had some conversations with some HR professionals who have spoken to us and said, oh, I mean, we like, for example, what it is that Tech for Dev is doing with the Women Techsters program. It sounds exciting. We're looking for inclusivity, right, within our workforce, and we don't know how to go about it. And I mean, I just thought that might be a question to just throw at you to say, I mean, if we add anyone who is maybe perhaps an HR professional who is around here, or even the women here who want to know about the kind of workplace initiatives or policies that helps to drive inclusivity for young women within the technology space, what would those policies look like? What would those practices, best practice look like in the workplace to help ensure inclusivity? And inclusivity in this context is having more women join the workforce within the tech startups and within the technology companies we have around.
So you're looking for the policies that would basically foster more diversity. I mean, in any workplace, right?
Yes.
I mean, frankly speaking, now it's becoming more and more. It's a must. It's becoming we know that even again into very big corporate and companies, it's a target. That on how many women on board, how many executive women they are in terms of the percentage mix, male and female, etc. And it's kind of like a competitive edge or value proposition for /branding, for companies to basically promote and say we are diverse or promote the fact that we have X numbers into our leadership team, etc. So it starts by this. It starts by the leadership team. The rules already are governed from board, etc. So it's there, and then it's about, again, it's coming from. I would say it's 360 degree between top, bottom, and bottom up. It starts again for from the young girls here and the juniors. You don't need to show that they are less than a male. We are equal in any place in terms of education, in terms of performance, in terms of competency, etc., etc. So the fact that every young girl or woman, when entering her journey of work or career, she needs to feel super confident. We can run into bumps, but again, seek out for help, talk, speak up. But the fact that you will always have the feeling that you are second citizen because women versus men, it's not gonna work. The taboo of women at work or this women in tech, etc. Unfortunately for myself, I never felt it. I was basically always, standing up for my rights. When there are conflicts, you stand up, you speak up, you are very outspoken, you fight, you are perseverant. It goes all the way from you as an individual to basically dictate that you are having a career development, part of your management and your team and your management at work. There is always like discussion about what you do and what you want to do next, what's your development plan, etc. So you go follow up, etc., etc. So starting from the individual, then forging this trust relationship between the woman and her manager or colleagues. Then further up, as I mentioned, from the top bottom, from leadership perspective, it is pack two that this has to be on the agenda in terms of hiring, in terms of checking the box, in terms of promoting and branding my company name.
Thank you so much, Rama, for sharing such amazing nuggets. And I know typically when people see women who have climbed up the ladder and they've achieved so much, it begs the question a lot of times, right? You're like, oh, did this person just start out being at the top of their careers? Because you're like, I can't even imagine like this person climbed up. I know this person is here at the moment, but how did the person get there? And I think that it'd be very interesting for women here. They might want to know, how you started out your career in tech. How did you start out? I know, for example, that you studied computer science as undergraduate, but is that really what kickstarted the journey in tech for you? And I'm sure that that's a question that is on a lot of people's mind. We want to know how you moved from being like little Rama all the way to, where you are today.
Okay, then that makes me, of course, happy and gives me a lot of pleasure, of course, to help, draw this map together and then share it with the young ladies here. I can start by saying, I'm super glad that I really had to study computer science. It starts with what did you started, So I studied computer science. It makes me super proud whenever, I have to present myself or give the 30-second elevator pitch to say I am an accomplished computer scientist and a global tech leader. Wow, as you mentioned. So that's true. Having majored in computer science gave me the foundation of knowledge, problem solving, logical thinking, that proved to be very competitive and for your career and opened widely many opportunities. So this is what I was kind of like stressing to how it started. And then why computer science? If I even have to help the ladies here or the young girls, to choose computer science. I saw this myself as the future, where computing jobs were there to stay. I loved by myself, science, math, numbers. And basically I was very much into the STEM. Born and raised also in a very scientific and academic family, my father and mother. I wanted to join the American University in Cairo, study computer science, rather than basically exploring the traditional path of engineering. As you mentioned, it was not that popular at that time, when we had computer science in my, back to more than 2 decades now. So going for a challenge is what I really like to do. Always look for a challenge, get out of your comfort zone. I always look for something different. As when we say, even in technology at work, the early adopters of technology. I used to work at IBM, so producing, ThinkPads, fingerprints, new tech coming out in the market, and we have some a niche client sector talking about naming them, the early adopters. So I am myself an early adopter of everything new, looking for innovation. So this is where it basically led me to the computer science, which basically for me was, being different is better. And we used to say this, by the way, at Lenovo as well, so I always capture everything from my experience. So that led me obviously to pursue my career in tech. And from there, I never wanted to shift or change. Don't ask me why. I even remember when doing my executive MBA at HEC in Paris, I was always challenged by my colleagues, why you do not want to shift careers? Why do you love so much IBM? And I used to say, well, it's not an option, guys. I simply love tech. So from there, basically, I can easily say that, yes, it is a priding journey of success, of continuous learning. As I mentioned, you keep learning, you grow, you seek mentorship, you seek, you you exert passion, hard work, perseverance, humility, hustle, which is like never stand still, never let go. So by acting with, or let's exerting all those, let's say, this attitude, your work talks. So when your work talks, the doors open to you. Your passion tops everything, followed by hard work, determination, perseverance, as I mentioned, integrity. You earn trust and respect from the colleagues around you, from whether subordinates, where your teams reporting to you, or your higher management, leadership, etc. So this computer science major, and having started my career technical, by the way, and I want to stress on this because again, here we're talking more technical as we move forward in the technical or in the technology arena. When I started my career technical as system engineer, as a product manager, this is what built really the foundation of everything and became the catalyst of my career growth success. It was really the foundation when I moved to sales, when I moved to marketing, to branding, to operation. It's all about when you're technical, there is an edge. That's why I said before, technical or tech leaders are even now and more demanded if you want to have a success business in the tech arena today. And as I mentioned, I've always never considered the women at work a topic of gender challenge to myself. There were many bumps thrown in my way. I always believed in myself here. I was a warrior type of person. So eventually, with God help, always that made it happen where I am, And mentoring was on the way, of course, all the way. A non-professional mentor, because of your leaders around you at work or outside, they trust you, they owe you respect and high regard and believe in you. So from here, kind of like the relationship has its birth, and then you start getting feedback and coaching, etc., without having to say mentorship. So.
All right, thank you so much, Rama. I mean, whilst you were speaking, I just sort of mirrored in my mind, and I'm like, okay, Rama's talking about determination, persistence, consistency, and then for some people, you might feel like, oh, that's a lot of hard work that is involved in technology. Shouldn't I just switch to or maintain whatever career path it is that I've chosen already, and not even bother to join to start out a tech career? So I mean, maybe just an additional question will be, why tech really? Why should anyone, or why should any woman here really start out their career in tech? What is unique, or what is exciting or interesting or different about technology that, I mean, might make them want to, that makes it important for them to start out either a career or a business, or just start out some sort of like pathway in technology?
I think it's like back to what I tried to highlight at the beginning. It's everywhere. It's tech. You sometimes even challenge many of the new companies coming on the table now, or rising up, by claiming they are a tech company where they are simply not tech, but simply using tech, So if the debate is already on the table that many companies are using tech to deliver their service, like Uber, like all the delivery companies we know and we use every day. They're simply they are using the beauty of technology to deliver service, to deliver from door to door, for the last mile, etc. So technology has become an integral part of every single industry on earth today. Look at it from any country perspective. We talk about the political side, it's the digital transformation, the digitalization of it, all the agenda of every government and the public policies. Everything is banking, insurance, health tech, ed tech. You've seen, even you can see now tech is basically associated with every classic industry. So going into tech will basically make you in control, in charge, will open wider the opportunities for you to have a career, easier job accessibility. If I can go back to to some numbers I used to share when I was in Andela as country director, trying to promote remote work is today, the future of work is today. It's about remote and distributed workforce. Why? Because technology is basically enabling this model of work. Why? Because look at the job statistics now, that are many jobs are disappearing, whereas new jobs are basically rising on the market in terms of really millions of numbers, 58 million if I recall. These numbers, what are they composed of? They are basically software engineers. So numbers speak. Numbers, everything is calling for software, for, as I mentioned, data scientists, machine learning professional specialist, AI, everything is technology. The technology has become either an integral part of any business, if not the enabler or the core business of a tech company by itself. So you'll be basically your king or the queen of yourself. You don't find it hard to basically find any job. You can be plugged in any industrial or sector. You don't have to say, I'm going to work in tech sector. And, Hermes, finance, everyone is looking for a CTO. Look at the very top of the technical start. CTOs are everywhere demanded. Every single small or big company is new startup, as well as a very established classical industrial company in the world, of sizes of thousands. We're not talking about from 5 people to 100K people. They look for CTO, they look for IT support, which is the classical one, and they look for all the new technology or technical job roles, like I mentioned, data scientist, AI, ML, front developers, back-end developers, name it, all decoders, etc., etc.
Thank you so much, Rama. I mean, there goes one of the many reasons, or 1, 2, 3, she shared reasons of being in tech as a woman. So, I mean, just to sort of wrap up this session is, I think that it will be some women I am just saying, if I could get advice directly from Rama in terms of, I want to start a career in tech. I want to start a business in tech. I'm quite clueless. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to approach it. If you were to advise these women, 1, 2 words of advice to them, what would that be for the women out there who really do want to start but do not have or do not know how to start out?
Well, I mean, first of all, I will start by saying, on the generic level, don't be shy. So believe in yourself, don't be shy, and you have to basically, very important thing, you have to do what you love and love what you do. You will not ever be throwing yourself in tech because we said that tech is, let's say, the future. If you're not into it, if you don't like anything related to technology, whether as a user, whether as the whole world of technology around it, you're not on social media, you don't know how to use a computer, or you're fed up of being on a screen, in front of a screen, etc., then don't. Very important thing, do what you love and love what you do. When you know what you love and you're not shy, you know that there is something that you need to basically go for in terms of growing and learning, then start, sizing the path that you want to look for. I don't know if we say we'd start by, if we're talking about like post-graduation or within your study of school, so of course when you study computer science or computer engineering or anything around it, basically it's paved the way that you know where you want to go. If you want to shift after graduating because you basically started to have a passion toward technology after that we graduated, this is where you're gonna probably seek some of the coding schools, which are again very much available now across even Africa and Middle East, right? Start the basic and know that these are the ones that would qualify you for starting a job that you would like to basically pursue moving forward. And from there, everything would basically call for itself, step by step. You need to get the first step, which is identify what you like, what you love. If you want to do it, then go for it. Don't be shy. Always keep asking around you. And I mentioned always, again, within your career, also build your network. never leave behind any single person you got to know while you were a colleague or you were in school or especially at work without good relationship. Every single one, you will need them later on. And that's the power of today, really. The more you spend time in your life, in your career, this is the fortune of your life, the network, the people that you got to know, and they who got to know you in terms of how you work, the team working, how you react, etc., etc. So it's about networking. It's about going after what you want and know what you want first, going after it. Mentorship, again, as I mentioned, asking questions, seeking help, always seeking help. Never stay, by your side or by yourself. And then it's basically things will basically call for the rest.
Amazing.
And important thing, I would like to, of my experience as well, be aware of burning out yourself. Because you said that I said it's hard work. Yet it's very much hard work. But given the very dynamic, competitive environment where we're talk industry now, there will always be work to do, never ending, which could be a recipe for really burnout. So caution. It's critical that you set boundaries if you want a pleasant, rewarding career, meaning that you have something else in your life, hobbies, sport, time for vacation, just name it. That's key.
All right. Thank you so much, Rama. I only have time to take one question, and luckily, someone has dropped a question in the comment section, so I'll just take that question really quickly. So this person says, I didn't quite catch the person's name because it's Galaxy A7 2017. The person says, I have 2 tech qualifications, but I'm struggling to get a job in tech because I do not have any experience. What can I do?
Well, let's start by saying unfortunately, that's a problem of some of the, the companies asking for experience, because we need to definitely bring zero experience to some of those juniors, of course, or beginners. So there is no, let's say, rocket science here answer what to do, except that maybe a workaround would be that you would seek an internship, because internship means that you do not have experience. And internship is by many defaults is a step into this place moving forward. You proved yourself, you got access to, you sacrifice for a little bit for, let's say, some 3-4 months, whatever, as if you still didn't get the chance to get the job. So should be worth investing. And then from there, you already acquire experience, right? I used to do work internship all over when I was still studying before graduating. So that's it's a way of overcoming this hurdle of like experience requirements for a zero experience yet. Get it when you're studying, get it in an internship, even if you graduated, get it into your first job and consider it like a training for yourself and an access to that firm. Make sense?
Most definitely makes sense. Moi Oluwa, I'm not sure I'll be able to take your questions right now. I will just tell Ntkozo to just move that question over to the industry panel so this will be easier to answer the questions. Thank you so much, Rama, for your time. I mean, we had such amazing such an amazing conversation today. I mean, and I have like the final thing you said around the advice was more of like I literally feel like I'm gonna print those words and put them on like a plaque and just keep looking at them every time. But I have those words. It says, build your network, be confident, know what you want first, and then go after you want, ask questions, right? And I also enjoyed the part where you spoke about, not burning out, in as much as it seems like there's a whole lot going on in terms of the work that it is that you do. I mean, find time for yourself, don't burn out, but just enjoy the ride. I mean, being in the industry as a whole. Thank you very much, Rama. We appreciate you so much for taking time out of your extremely busy schedule, as we know, to be here with us, to share this wonderful nuggets with us. I don't know if, it's okay if you could maybe perhaps drop your LinkedIn profile or maybe any social media that you feel comfortable with. If the women out here, if they want to ask you any questions or want to reach out to you, the easiest means for them to be able to reach out to you if they have
Absolutely. I'm easily reachable, and we can definitely, after, if you're going to share a post after that, you already tagged me, so please explicitly mention my profile, and I am there for any individual mentorship or questions ad hoc. I do that on an individual purpose as well as for many of colleagues, male and female. So please be my guest. I would love to. I'm always there it's my joy to always keep sharing any additional valuable tip that would make a difference for someone.
Thank you so much, Rama. It was amazing once again.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure myself.
Thank you. All right, over to you, Joy. Thank you for having us. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Dura and Rama. Thank you. That was such an amazing session. One thing about the Open Day events and why I personally look out for the Open Day events, because I get to learn about several people, their experiences, and actually connect with them. So in case you're just coming for the first time, you might have not had the opportunity to meet someone like Rama, the former country director of Andela, Egypt, but at the Open Day event, you can. So please invite your friends to attend the next Open Day. And please do not forget to tweet your nuggets on social media using the hashtag Women Techsters Open Day. Okay, so shortly we'll be having a panel session that'll be anchored by Ntkozo Yende. But before that, we're seeing a video of Fatima Ahmed. Fatima Ahmed is a beneficiary of the Women Techsters initiative. And let's just stay tuned and do not go anywhere. Please stay tuned, and we'll come back shortly after that to introduce the panelists.
My name is Fatima Ahmed. I'm from Ilorin, Kwara State. I studied chemistry from the University of Ilorin, but now I'm a woman in tech. Getting a job in Nigeria is very difficult. After my National Youth Service program, I was at home for like 5 to 6 months, writing CVs, applying for jobs, and the highest I got was callbacks, which was very frustrating. I was talking to a friend about the difficulties of getting a job in Nigeria, and he was telling me about the opportunities in tech. Coincidentally, at that time, another friend of mine was telling me about how she went to the Nigerian Techsters program, where she learned how to code and build websites. Seeing what she could do, I was motivated to apply for the Nigerian Techsters program. The training was for 12 weeks. I learned technical skills, building websites, writing codes. I also learned soft skills, communicating effectively, working in teams. It made me more effective in what I do today. Coming for the training, I just felt that, okay, I'll just learn some new skills, then have to go back home to apply for other jobs. But during the training, I started getting a lot of job opportunities, and here I am today. I have a good job, and I am glad I took the bold step to come for the Nigerian Techsters training. I currently work as a technical support engineer at Tech Experts, where I provide cloud-based solutions. I want to use this opportunity to encourage other young women out there who are looking for jobs to empower themselves with tech skills and take advantage of opportunities like this.
With partners like Microsoft, we've been able to train over 2,475 women in coding and deep tech skills across 12 states in Nigeria. And all this training was done for free. Over the next 10 years, we will train 5 million women across Africa by 2030. And we're looking for partners who could join us on this journey.
Okay. That was the story of Fatima Ahmed. I told you, and really, you don't really have to have a technical background before you go into tech. You mustn't have a technical background, and that's why we are here to let you know and to prove this to you that just come as you are. Tech is the cheapest way, the fastest way to make it as an African woman, and the opportunities there for you. I recall Rama speaking about the CTO job opportunities. Companies are looking for technical hands, and the only problem is that they're not having enough people in the tech space, and we don't actually have an equal number of women there. So we want you to fill the gap. The aim is 5 million women, and we won't rest until we get to 5 million women across Africa. And you should be one of the women, right? So you're actually at the right place. So now we'll be going into a fireside session. We have a lineup of African women in tech. They'll be sharing their personal experiences. They'll speak about their career paths in tech and help you realize the importance of acquiring digital skills. You will be also be learning about their struggles, not just the good things, the challenges, the obstacles, and how they're able to overcome. This session will be led by Ntkozo Yende, who's a customer engineer at Microsoft. She's a business and international relations graduate who has transitioned from business to tech. She believes that exposure to the possibilities of tech for women is a key step towards having women in tech. At Microsoft, she helps businesses and individuals build and deploy custom applications and utilize Microsoft Teams as a platform so that they can take advantage of and reap the benefits of a truly modern workspace. Joining her at the panel is Debbie Bashorun, a brand and product designer at Sterling Bank, Nigeria. Debbie is a multidisciplinary designer who currently works at Sterling Bank as a senior product designer. She believes in crafting delightful user experiences and has been designing for over 5 years. She's experienced in graphic design, UI, UX, and motion design. She loves speaking about design and helping mentor people. As part of her volunteering experience, she's currently a design mentor for Design Lab, a mentor-led online design education platform and body which focuses on peer support for the students' design community. She also currently volunteers as a book designer for Flip Leaves, a foundation that uses creative means to tackle societal issues from the foundation. Previously, she was the head judge for submissions for Technovation, a global tech education nonprofit that empowers girls and families to become leaders, creators, and problem solvers. She was also a volunteer graphic designer for Crimson Bell Sickle Cell Initiative. Deborah believes in collaboration, communication, feedback, growth, experimentation, consistency, seeing failure as a learning curve, and using data to make informed decisions that help make customers happy, thereby solving the right problems. Wow, right? Okay, we also have Simi Ogundowole, a senior product designer at Royal Bank of Canada today joining us. She's a product designer. Today is for product designers, really. And she has over 10 years of experience. She loves solving complex problems and is constantly fascinated by how people interact with computers, and is a resolute believer in the power of the intersection of technology, business, and design as the key to unlocking effective product strategy. At her core, she excels at defining product vision, curating human-centered experiences, and bringing revolutionary ideas to life. As a product person, Simi has made significant progress helping individuals and businesses develop winning products that have improved earnings and reached thousands of users. Simi enjoys product design because it touches all aspects of the business, from marketing and engineering to supporting the entire company vision, all the while solving tangible user problems and ideating inspirational user journeys. She started off her career in tech as an engineer, but grew in the space as a designer. Over the years, Simi has worked as a graphic designer, front-end developer, project and product manager. She has a bachelor's degree in electrical and electronics engineering from Covenant University and a master's degree in computing, software technology, and network management from Robert Gordon University, and is one of the 50 women profiled by Tech Women Lagos on International Women's Day 2019. When she's not working, she enjoys taking long drives, listening to indie music, or playing video games. Wow. Usually find her in the company of her co-conspirator, Taiwo, or having long, whimsical conversations with her closest friends. And last but not the least, we have Mena Eissa, the technical product manager at bookings.com. Mena Eissa is a technical product manager that received her computers and systems engineering bachelor from Ain Shams University, Egypt in 1999. She started her career as a software engineer, then slowly shifted to project management, business analysis, and product management. She was a partner and co-founder of 2 startups. She enjoys reading, writing, and swimming. She has been trying hard to learn Dutch for over 2 years, hoping that one day she can greet Dutch people in the streets confidently. Lately, Mena started offering free online career coaching for individuals interested in developing themselves as product manager, project manager, business analyst in the software development field. And those are the three panelists I'll be having today at the Open Day event, and we're so excited about that. This session will be moderated by Ntkozo. Please do not go anywhere. Pay attention. These are industry experts. They have all the answers to the questions you may be having or you may have been, struggling with. So, Ntkozo, Mena.
Hi, everyone.
Hello. Hello. So over to you, Ntkozo, please.
Awesome. Thank you, Joy, for the great info, the great introductions. And also, I'm really excited to see such women tech stars joining us today. We had an amazing talk from our expert, Rama, before, and it's great that we're going to be having Mena, Debbie, and Simi with us today. So I want to remind you that today we're here to grow and support each other as women tech stars, and the idea is that we want to leave you empowered. So without further ado, I'd like to perhaps begin with Mena and ask you, how did you begin your career in tech? You started in the late 90s, and this was at a time when we didn't have that many women in tech. So could you share a bit about your career story and tell us maybe what made you choose tech?
Hello, Ntkozo, and hello, everyone. I'm very pleased to be with everyone here. And thank you, Rama, for sharing your very inspiring notes and great advices. And I hope that sharing my story could also be as inspiring as yours. So about my career, this passion about programming, it started in my mid-80s. I had some after-school course that was talking about computers and about programming. And since then, I felt like I found a treasure. So it was that I found my passion. I was very excited about it. And I wrote my first computer game at the age of 12. At this time, I had no computer at home. So I wrote it in using a paper notebook and a pencil. And kind of like it took me about a day in the weekend. And I couldn't wait till I get back to school and type it there and then run it and see it working. And since then, I decided that I will become something like a computer engineer, a programming, something that had computer and intelligence in it. Of course, it wasn't very clear in my mind at this age. Also, there was no internet at this time, and there were almost no one around me who were interested in or knowing about computers. So it was a mystery for everyone, and like a magic, having magic at this time. Since then, I was looking for books about computers, about programming languages. And of course, here I'm talking about paper books because, again, there was no internet, there were no ebooks. And then at the age of 16, I wrote some kind of like program to manage my library of books and floppy disks. And then 2 or maybe 3 years later, when I was studying engineering at college, I learned that what I created was something that they call database. So this was really inspiring for myself. And I also had my first 386 computer with MS-DOS early in the 90s. And it was more of a touristic monument that my friends and family used to came over to my house to visit this monument. And then in college and almost till now, most of my work and projects has been with men, like almost 90% of any team that I worked with, there were men. And sometimes it was all men except myself. I also remember working one time in an IT department in one of the very large organizations in Egypt. They had around 150 men and myself. So of course, it wasn't that easy to be surrounded all the time by men and having to prove myself as competent as they are. So sometimes I used to work for longer times. I was reading a lot, certifying in different topics, and even asking for more work from my managers to prove that I'm up to it. So of course it was very stressful. I'm not advising anyone to do this again, yeah. But at this time it was really difficult for me to prove myself there. Yet I see that the positive side of things is that this is how I gained my experience. The most challenging time for me was when I started to manage the people, and between brackets of men, of course. So there was a very heavy resistance to be managed by a woman, regardless of what you know, what you have studied, what you have achieved in your career, you are still a woman. So it almost took me double or triple the effort that was taking other managers, men, of course, to gain the trust of my teams. I would say that luckily these challenges disappeared by time. Right now, many organizations already open their doors for women, and they welcome them and they offer them very good opportunities so that they can learn, grow, and lead. So I think it's right now it's very open for ladies to join the tech.
That is very inspiring, Mena. Wow, you've left me thinking you're one of the trailblazers in our industry, you know. Being a woman in tech myself and having recently joined, I feel like it was women like yourself and women like Rama that, you know, set the pace to show us that it is quite possible, you know. Starting a database at a young age and not realizing what it was because it was not possible to learn before the age of the .com is quite inspiring. And perhaps I'm just going to bring it into one of our other guest speakers so that we're having a conversation around, you know, starting out, breaking into the tech industry and also seeing what possibilities there are for coming from a different perspective. So in Mena's case, as you can see, she came from a strong tech background and she almost knew that she wanted to fall into software development and software design, and she knew that her path is going to follow computers. But we'll see later on during the conversations that she did pivot a bit in her career and move into product and program design, which is her main expertise at the moment. But I'd like to call upon Simi. Perhaps you can tell us a little bit about how your career started as a program designer, and if you felt at any part of your career you've had like an imposter syndrome or felt discouraged, maybe because it was particularly male dominated or you had to be the woman in tech in this industry.
Yeah, okay. Hi, thank you. My name is Simi. Thank you so much for the super colorful introduction you gave me earlier. And it's really great to hear, you know, the perspective and the experience from other women in tech. I think that I would say if there was one thing that actually helped me get over, say, imposter syndrome, was just working really hard at upskilling myself. And, you know, at that point, it didn't matter anymore what I felt or what other people felt. I guess I'm also lucky because product design is actually a field where you actually have to show what you know. It's not just something that, you know, you can just talk about and think you can get away with it. People actually want to see your portfolio. People actually want to see the quality of work that you do. And I think when the feedback started to get, you know, positive and, you know, very reassuring, that was when I truly started getting over it, kind of. You know, even times where I'm getting, say, feedback that isn't very good, I know that, look, I've done work in the past that is good, and I just need to work on getting better and things like that. I guess ratio-wise, with the number of women that I've worked with, I think for the first 5 years of my career, I've been doing product design now for about 10 years. For the first 5 years of my career, I never worked with a female product designer. Thereabout, if not even almost six or thereabouts. And it's very interesting nowadays to see, you know, a lot of females who reach out to me and say, oh, you know, I want to start this, or I'm having this problem, and just, you know, asking for some feedback and things like that. So all in all, I think that things get better. I'm happy that the path has not been the same, you know, for me like other people, which is great. And I hope it just continues that way.
All right. Thank you, Simi, for shedding some light on how you overcame a little bit of the imposter syndrome. And it is something that is true about a career, that it's not female dominated. And at some places you have to prove yourself, or you have to work the extra mile to show that your skills are valid and you do know what you're doing, and you have the potential to, you know, to show what is out there. We have someone that has a different background and necessarily didn't start in tech. So for instance, we have Simi and Mena that both had somewhat a tech background from studies, and Debbie, who took a complete pivot. So you studied biological sciences, and then you know, looked at marine biology, and then suddenly you transitioned into tech. What would you say drove that career move?
Okay. Hi. Hi everyone, good evening. Good evening from this side of the world. First, I wanted that I am very honored to be here. On my transition from studying biological sciences down to tech, it was not a straight road for one, and secondly, it was driven by pretty confused. I was a pretty confused teenager. So then I had to study something in the university. I picked a course. I went to see a counselor, and then we had this conversation about, oh, what subjects do you like the most? And I said biology, and they just picked something, and I was like, okay. And he said, don't worry, go study that. When you're done, you figure out what you want to do. So I was all through university. I was pretty confused still, but I just knew that someday I'm going to find what I was looking for. But then all through this period, I was asking questions. I was very curious. So I kept asking different kind of questions. So if I see someone that looks like their career path is well set out, I would ask, how did you get here? What did you overcome, and all of that? So it was not straightforward at all. So it got to a time just before my NYST, for those in Nigeria, immediately after my university. So there's this little period where you stay home before you go serve your fatherland for a year. And then I was asking questions. Then fortunately for me, I asked this designer. I didn't know it was that at the time, but it was like an acquaintance at the time. And then he told me that, so I was asking him about print ads that I see on TV and how they were made. And he was telling me about them, and I seemed to like them. Then he said, Debbie, why don't you try it out? And I'm like, as at that time, I had not seen females who were designing. And so I started off with graphic design, right? And to even get graphic design I couldn't imagine at that time, because there were little to no female designers that I knew of, or that were even popular. But there were a couple of guys, you get. But it encouraged me. He said something. He said, the beautiful thing is that women are not to be more meticulous, and bringing that into design is something that the world needs to see. And he encouraged me, and then I started off with graphic design before I transitioned to product design. So that, for me, I just told you my transition story. That was how I transitioned into tech. It was not straight, it was not smooth, but I said, well, I wanted to do that, and I did.
Thanks, Debbie. It's a really impressive story. I think many people can echo the fact that the line it's not always straight, So getting from point A to point B is difficult, and also finding your true passion. For instance, if we look at Mena, if we look at Simi and yourself, you did not start off with what you studied. You actually transitioned and finally found your place to where you want to be, And that's something that maybe is important, that, having different types of experience will help you get to where you want to be. For instance, what you're doing now with graphic design is helping you with product design, correct? So maybe you can share a little bit of how you're leveraging the past skills to help you be good at what you do today.
Okay. Yeah. So first, I'll talk about first I'll talk about graphic design and product design. Right? Product design encompasses a lot of different fields, right? So product design encompasses psychology, human-computer interaction, and all of that. But then there's also the visual side. So there's the visual design part, which you see, and then we say, aesthetic, that looks aesthetically pleasing, or that looks really nice. So graphic design helped me on that visual skills before I even knew what product design was. So it was very easy to actually transition. So I had to learn the research part, and I took my time to do that. So it was very easy for me to bring in the visual skills into the product skills. Then so I think other things that I brought in from my previous experience, especially with school, with university as biological science student, marine science student, was I think it was more of soft skills. So a lot of soft skills that I grew to learn in school and university, I was able to bring them into my my career path and into the workplace, because I'm a big fan of, I don't believe that there's any knowledge that is wasted. I don't believe there's any experience that is wasted. So you either learn something, you most definitely pick something from it that you can iterate and use in your path as you're going along. So yes, I'm very thankful for those years. They were very formative for me. So thank you.
Thank you, Debbie. I'm going to bring over Mena back again. So you had quite a big transition, going from writing the code as software, as a software designer and a software developer, to now moving on to your current career as as a program and product manager. What would you say helped you with that transition, or what were the motivating factors to move towards that decision?
So when I graduated, I had a dream of becoming an architect and also working at Microsoft. So this led me to start my career as a software engineer, hoping that this dream will come true at some day. Yet in practical life, the first thing that I found is that it's very different than what I had in mind. Business needs are very different from a developer just having dreams. And to succeed, there are many skills that you need to learn and master. So it's not just about having fun with writing some code on a set of machines. There are users who use the products that you create, and there is business who also benefits from creating these products. So my transition to product management, it happened through different gradual phases. So at the beginning, when I was a developer, I wanted to understand why are all projects late even before they begin, and why there was always pressure to deliver things in less time than required. So here came my first transition, where I became a project manager while I was still having some hands-on in coding. And then being a project manager was not really enough for me. So I decided to go one step further, and I switched to business analysis. So for some time in my life, I was kind of like in this cross section of understanding the business and the tech needs and trying to bridge between them while owning the delivery of the projects. And then later, I tried to build something of my own at different times throughout my career, which is something that they call now the startups. But at the time I started kind of like thinking about it, this term was not there yet. And then the time came and I had the opportunity to co-found 2 startups in Egypt. And of course, this came with more and different types of challenges, diversity in responsibilities, and of course, more learnings because it was kind of like a very different domain. So I learned more about strategic planning, about design, about user journey, about user experience. And then I thought that it was the right time for me to combine all of these experiences and take the next step, which led to me becoming a product manager. So when I started my career in product management, it was first on the commercial side of things, yet it wasn't that much interesting for me because I still feel that, no, I need to go back to tech. So right now I'm in between the tech and the product. So I switched to technical product management. One thing that I think it's worth sharing here is that throughout my journey, I spent around 4 or 6 years in each of these phases in my career before I transitioned to the next step. For myself, I was seeing it as important to gain experience, not just to try something for a short time and then jump to the next shiny thing. And then also it's worth mentioning that in the world of tech, things change very fast. And I think that Rama already mentioned something about that in her speech. So especially lately, we can find new trends and new types of jobs that emerge every day. So by the time I graduated, the very old mobile phones were more than a luxury. There were no social media platforms at this time, like the ones that we have right now. So probably in the next 5 to 10 years, there will be different trends, different technologies, and different types of jobs. And I would say that I might find myself also doing something totally different than what I'm currently doing. So I would say it's kind of like just be flexible and kind of like learn and move with what we think you're really interested in.
Thank you so much, Mena. That's very inspirational. You mentioned something about that, you always need to realize that change happens very fast, and what the business need is sometimes and most of the time very different to what you might interpret from the software design perspective. So we do have somebody that is a product designer here. So Simi, for instance, is part of the industry, and she speaks a lot about that. You need to leverage your past experiences in order to create good design for your users. You need to understand and address user problems in more and logical, creative ways. So perhaps Simi, you can share like what inspires you when you're designing for users and what interests you, or what is important about product design, because Mena just mentioned that sometimes the business is different to what the business needs are different to what you might think of from the back end side. So what drives product design, or what inspires you in that sense?
Right, and I think that this point that you raised is something that kind of separates different kind of designers. Graphics designers, UI UX designers, product designers. And it was probably something that I struggled with early in my career. because for say some of the colleagues that I used to work with, the perception that they had was that my job was just to make something look pretty, you know. And of course, we all know design goes beyond just how it looks. It also, you know, focuses on how it works. So the big thing, and the key differentiator for product design is to understand that even though we're trying to make things easy for the users and all of that, we're trying to, you know, provide a very good experience for our users. We're trying to make sure that everything looks good as well. It's very important to tie that to what the business objective is. So your job is, the business will define what the objectives are, and then your job is to say, how can we tie this to what the users are doing, and how can we make sure that the users are enjoying themselves while also achieving this. And it's very important, especially when, you know, when a product starts to scale. How do you, when a product starts to scale, and many other things that we need to think about. How do these things, you know, work well? So I guess, like I mentioned before, it's something that kind of differentiates different kind of designers, to make sure that you're not just designing for yourself. You're not just, I mean, you're designing for the users, but you also have to put the business objective into consideration.
Right. Thank you so much, Simi. It's insightful to get, you know, the differences from a product manager perspective versus a product designer perspective, because it's often blurred the lines about who does what, and how do you fit into the greater scheme of tech, you know. It's great that we do have like product designers, product managers, and, you know, people that are dealing with the design at the end as part of the panel today. So leading on to the conversation, I do believe that some of our participants would have questions about what are some of the challenges. You know, it's not always an easy road to get where you're going. So perhaps you can share about what are some of the challenges that you've come across, or is there a point in your career that you needed to pivot, or, you know, need a form of inspiration or find success in different things?
Well, yeah, so like I mentioned, one of the first problems that I had was, you know, trying to redefine myself and to make everyone understand that my job went beyond just making things pretty. So what I just did was just try to get more involved in like strategy and understand business, you know, letting them know that design could actually help us achieve some of these objectives that were set out. Something else that I think I struggled with was the kinds of problems that I was solving as well. And it was one of the big reasons why I left, you know, marketing and sales, because I had, you know, early stints in my career in those lines. I wanted to do more than, you know, make websites. I wanted very complex problems, very complex applications. So that was the thing that I struggled with as well. But the solution at the time was just something that was very big for me when I started out, was always trying to get projects to work on. So like even aside like my full-time job, always try to pick up a freelance project here and there so that I could, you know, expand my view and actually exercise my design muscles. And things like that. I think another thing that is worth mentioning was when I started out, designers were not well paid. But thankfully now, especially with tech, and actually seeing the impact that design has on business, that is changing. So yeah, these were some of the problems I had. Also, again, like I mentioned, I didn't work with a female designer for so long, and now on my current team we've got like 4 of them, you know, with different skill sets: content design, visual design, interaction design, and it's just interesting to see, and it makes me very happy. So these are some of the problems that I faced.
Thank you so much, Simi. it just goes to show that we have come a long way, and you have come a long way as an individual. And it's inspiring for the participants. It's inspiring for myself as a young woman in tech, knowing that things do change and you do get better. And some of the challenges that you face, they might seem large at first, but the more you extend yourself and go for projects and push yourself to find where you can fit in, it does help in at the end of the day. So thank you very much, Simi. Debbie, we're going to bring you back up just to ask you a question about, seeing as though somebody inspired you to end up going into the world of design and going into the world of tech when you were a little bit unsure about the path. What would you say was your best professional advice that you received? And if you have any words of encouragement for the ladies that are listening today.
Wow, best. I've received a lot of professional advices that have led me to where I am. So I can't pick one as best, but I'll just run through some. That's fine. I think one of the first things would be that I need to understand who I am and then take that uniqueness into what I do. One. Also, another thing would be that I have to understand that I have to delegate, yes, but I can't delegate everything. So there are things that I can't delegate, like my growth and my learning. I have to be committed to that. I can't delegate that out. So I have to be committed to knowing much more than I did yesterday. And then my only competition is me, is what I see in the mirror. So of course, that includes making plans for a year, 2 years, career plans, good plans of things where I want to be, things I need to do to get there, and OKRs and KPIs and all of that. Also, another advice that I got that also really, really resonates with me till now is for me to stay hungry for knowledge, and stay curious. Because curiosity is something that has led me thus far, and it has the ability to lead me so much more further, right? So I have to stay curious. I can't be content, right? I can't be content with what I know. I have to be curious for more. I have to be hungry for more. Also, another advice would be to take care of myself and my mental health, because I feel like a lot of times these days we see a lot of designers fall sick anyhow, we see a lot of designers lose it, and I've had a couple of experiences with designers that I know, because I believe in community. So community would be another advice that I got from the advice that I've gotten. In whatever I believe, whatever profession you are, you need other people. You're not an island, you cannot survive by yourself, so you need a community. Community doesn't mean they have to be 1,000 or 500 or 100. If it's just a community of you and a few people that you know that you can reach out to when you're stuck, because you need people. When you're stuck, somebody to talk to about problems you are currently solving at work, right, or on a project. Exactly, because it may just be a little nudge here, or they tell you about an article they read or a book that they think you need to read to help solve that problem or cross that hurdle, right? So you need all of these things. For me, those advices has stood out to me, and I don't joke with them, because they have really helped me thus far in my journey, and I'm looking to go further. So I'm looking to go along with them as I go further.
Thank you so much, Devi. It's really exciting to know that many of the women that are speaking today, from Rama to Mena to Simi, you guys agree on the same thing, that no man is an island. You do need the support. You do need the community to join you, to empower you, to share a little bit of information, to also advocate for you. Sometimes you do need that exposure, and it's also exciting that all three of the industry panelists today are industry mentors, and they mentor different individuals. So I just want to come back to Mena, who is currently working as a career coach, or as on her side as a career coach for young people. What would you say is an advice that you would give to young women who are considering tech careers? To echo what Debbie has already said and what Simi has said about how you move and the need to have years of experience, try out new things, stay curious, and also strive for mentorship and building a community. What would you give advice to young women and ladies?
Yeah, I would say think about your journey. Success is in the journey itself, because as I mentioned earlier, throughout your career, and because it's a technical domain and things change very fast, maybe it wouldn't be very reasonable to set only one goal, because you will find yourself developing from one time to the other. Maybe you can find some kind of like a new job, do some career shift still within the technology. So this is why I'm talking about the success. It is in the journey itself. So I would say, take your time, be yourself, seek to learn, flex with the changes, and always enjoy and be proud of yourself.
Thank you so much, Mena. I'd just like to give you guys, all the three industry leaders, just a moment to perhaps give some final remarks. So we can start with you, Mena, and then move on to Simi and Debbie. Would you like to have some closing remarks before we move on to this questions section?
Yeah, I would say that I'm very happy having or seeing all of these women here interested in having a career in technology. It means that people are really interested and kind of like honest with themselves to have a career there. And yeah, you have the time and you can learn.
Thank you, Mena. Simi, would you like to have some final words or words of encouragement that you'd like to leave with the ladies here today?
Yeah, I would say that I would encourage everyone to be disciplined and just strive to put out good work. So again, I can speak to product design because this is what I've done for the most part of my life. You need to have a good portfolio to show, like there's no way around it. So, and of course, for you to get there, you need to try things out. You need to work on projects. It's nice that, you go to boot camps and do all those things. Very useful, very helpful. It's great to read online and all of that. That's great. But ultimately, you need to have something to show for it. And yeah, I know that when Rama was speaking, she mentioned something about internships. And then we had the conversation around, how do you get work when you don't even have experience, and they're asking for experience. Just start to find things that you can work on, start to find problems that you can solve, things that you can ideate on, that you can collate, and over time you have something to show for it. I know it's trying. I know it can be really hard, especially when you're trying to earn as well. I completely understand that, but there's no way around it. The only way is through. And definitely, if you need any help, particularly product designers, if you need any help, please reach out to me on LinkedIn. I would be more than happy to have a chat with you.
Thank you so much, Simi. Debbie, bringing it over to you. Any final words or remarks?
Yeah, so I'm just going to but just something else. The other panelists have spoken and they've said really, really nice things. I just want to say something. So about putting in the work. It's very essential for you to put in the work, right? You need to do, and most importantly, you need to understand that I think you need to understand that failure is part of life. Because I know that when you're used to getting no's or maybe failing one or two times, it won't deter you from trying. Because of that, you try new things, new scopes, I always say something that the only thing that can stop you is you. That's it. So you have to be determined. Trust me, trials will come, things will come that will make you doubt yourself, but don't forget that there's just one you in the whole wide world, and you are very unique. The world needs you, needs your uniqueness, needs your skills, your skill set, your ability. So please do not deny the world that wonderful gift, and understand. And I also think you should be gracious to yourself. You're a human being. You're going to fail a couple of times, but you're going to get up again, and you're going to go at it, and you're going to get it. You're going to put in your best. You're going to do your best, and then you're just going to give it and just show the world that you're ready for this. That's it, ladies.
Wow. Thank you. Wow. Really inspirational, all three of you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the inspirational words. I can say myself, I'm inspired, and I'm also, you've given us the realistic features around it. It's not just about going for a career in tech. You need to put in the hard work. You need to understand where you're going. You need to put in the years of experience and also work on many different types of goals at the same time so that you do reach to where you want to be. we do have some questions from the audience, and I was thinking perhaps maybe each one of you could have a take on this. It comes from Elizabeth Q, and she's asking that some of us are new in the tech industry. What should we take into consideration? So we've already mentioned that hard work comes into play, understanding, knowing your path, being curious, and doing some research on it. Mena, what do you think they should take into consideration when they're new into tech? Mena, we can't hear you. Still no, not yet. Can you try again? No, we can't hear you at the moment. So I'll just move it on to Simi for now, and then we'll come back to Mena. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. Can you run over that question again, please?
So Elizabeth Q is asking that some of us are new in the tech industry. What should we take into consideration?
I guess my piece of advice is that you're actually interested in tech. There should be some kind of something that would actually drive you, passion. Tech is lucrative and all that nice stuff. Yeah, we know that. But you have to actually have some interest in it. Again, I'm going to say this. I know I sound like a broken record when I say this, but you also need to put in the work. To Debbie's point, and quite rightly so, you do it well enough to pace yourself. You don't want to burn out, of course not. Definitely not asking that you're working on 10 million things at the same time, but pace yourself. Nothing good comes easy. And especially if you want to be able to compete on a global scale, there's going to be some work involved. But of course, again, pace yourself, don't burn out, don't buy more than you can chew, rest, do other things. When you were reading out my introduction, I'm sure you saw the things I wrote there about, just lighter things in life that I try to enjoy as well. So yeah, definitely try and find that balance and just make sure that it's something that you're actually interested in.
All right, thank you, Simi. We do have another question for you, but I'll come back to that one later. Debbie, what would you say? They're saying that some of us are new in the tech industry. What should we take into consideration?
Okay.
What would you answer to that?
Yeah, like Simi has said, first, do you have the passion for it? Then the thing with tech is that tech is actually pretty wide, right? So there are different stratas. There's product design, there's QA, there's product management, there's even front end development, back end. Even then you have dev. I think dev relation associate or something. And I think so. There are the different roles, right? So you have to first do your research. So it's not something you delegate somebody else. Go sit down, look up all the roles in tech, look at the one that looks like something that you like to do, read up on it and get further information. Because a lot of times people reach out and say, oh, I want to transition to tech. And then I give them an assignment to actually find their leg, what they want to do, and they just go miss it. You have to do the work yourself. You have to understand what exactly you want to do. And if possible, try it out and see if you like it. If you don't, you can really try something else. There's no crime in doing that. Then also, a lot of times I hear people say, oh, how do I build my portfolio? How do I get internship to build my portfolio? I would say the first thing is you don't necessarily have to get internship to build your portfolio. The thing with design problems are all around us, right? So a lot of times people say stuff like everything is designed. They may be badly designed, right? But or no thought into it, but it's designed in a way. So in design, there's also system design. People think like it's not until you sit down with your laptop or open your Figma or your AI or your Vision or your Sketch that you're designing. The bulk of design strategy and everything is done before you get to your laptop, right? So it's a very complex and wide world. So please take time to do your assignment and also look around for problems you can solve, right? It's not until you get an internship. And if you need mentorship or help to actually solve that problem, you can really reach out to people. People are very, very a lot of designers are very approaching because I know a couple of them that based here in Nigeria, I don't know about elsewhere. And also for those that have access to Twitter, you can readily, there are a lot of designers you can follow that talk about solving problems in their own companies. So like I follow Julizo, VP of design at Facebook, and some other guys like that. So they talk about design and talk about problems that they are solving and that they're approaching. Some are even writing books that you can read. Then there are podcasts you should listen to. So there's this podcast by Evision. I think Evision has a podcast called, I stop remembering names. I can't remember the name. But yes, you can just Google Evision's podcast. It's on Spotify. Then I know IDEO has its own podcast too. On Spotify too. So listen to these things, right? They would help because you have people that have wealth of years coming to talk about how they navigated a problem or solve a problem. Then there's this website, Growth of Design, where they talk about case studies. So they put case study of problems that they solved, right? So you can go there and actually just look at videos, watch them, learn one or two things that you can apply. So I don't think style and design involve just sitting there in one place. There are a lot of things you can do to get yourself ready. So you'll be shocked that it may just be one project that you have in your portfolio, and then you get a job as a junior designer or intern. Why? Because it seems that you've actually gone out of it to solve something. You're not just holding hands and waiting down for opportunities to come. Opportunities won't come like that. Nowadays, when people come and say, we need somebody for so, they want to see that you've done something. They want to see that you are proactive. Because as a product designer, one of your most so a skill that you want to put first is problem solving and be proactive. For a lot of companies, where they want you to actually look through your patterns and notice what can be better. Then you notice it, then you can now okay put out a plan and say, okay, I'm going to actually do this research, maybe A/B testing or usability test and some tests to actually discover the best route or to do this, and then put that forward. So these days, people don't want you to just sit on your leg or your sit down and just fold your hands. They want you to be proactive about your career, your future, and steps that you're taking. Yeah, I think I must have said a lot of things. That's it.
Thank you, but it's all very useful information. Let's give it a shot with Mena again with your microphone. So the question was about transitioning into tech. What are some considerations that you should take? Still no. I'm sorry.
Yikes.
But I think we can't hear you, Mena, unfortunately. So from my side, I think we can wrap up the industry.
Sorry to cut you short, but I think Mena has a message. Say you should unmute her from your side.
Okay.
Mena. Yes.
Okay, I see it. It's okay, Mena. Joy, could you please unmute Mena and mute her again? Does it work now, Mena? You've been unmuted. It's unfortunate.
Quite.
I'm really sorry about that to the audience today. Unfortunately, we cannot hear Mena at the moment, but as she's mentioned, she'll try to leave and join again. And we'll leave the LinkedIn links to visit Mena, Simi, and Debbie's pages. And for now, I'd like to just give it back to Joy, who would like to continue with the conversation today. Let's try it one more time for Mena. Hello?
Hello, yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes! Awesome, with the wait.
Yeah, I'm really sorry about this glitch. So adding to what Simi and Debbie already shared, I would like to say that usually in software development or in the field of tech, one of the most important things is to think that about the teamwork. You're not alone. And this is one of the things that was kind of like killing me when I started, because most of the times I was feeling alone. Till one of my teammates told me that we are a team. So if you need help, seek help, ask questions. We're all here to support you. So this is a very wide domain with different types of roles that are, all of them are as equally important. So be open to learning about other roles, be open to know how to communicate with the other people, because also one of the most needed soft skills there in general for any role is to be able to communicate with people and to manage your stakeholders. And this is something that comes by time. So don't close on yourself, but rather than try to be to mingle with the other people and to learn from them. And there is always something new to learn from any team member, because everyone has their perspective, either from the technical side of things or even from the personal side of things. So it's always very useful to be in contact with the people. And also one of the most important things that you can do, for example, if you'd like to start in having an internship or looking for a mentor, you can use LinkedIn. There are so many professionals there from all around the world. You can try to connect with different people there, including myself. I already do provide online coaching about career for free. So please reach out to people, reach out to me or to any other professional there in this network. It's very useful. Usually people are open to share their experience and to help other people grow. And even like, for example, if you do this, you might at some point in time find that someone is interested, for example, in hiring you either as an intern or as a freelancer. So this can also help you build your career.
That is very true. So reaching out is part of it. I just want to sneak in a last question that is, I think, is very useful to our presenters, to our audience today. The question is from Uncle Angel P, and it's about what mistakes have you seen to be common among those who are still early in career in tech that we should watch out for? So maybe because we've all been there before, we all started somewhere, and all three of you have different experiences and different years of experience in tech. What would you say are some of the most common errors, and what should we watch out for? So Mena, maybe you can start out. Well, we still have you unmuted.
Yeah, I'm trying not to unmute myself again. Yeah, one of the most important things to avoid is just to be with yourself and think that you know everything. So being open to learn, being open to listen to others, and open to learn from their experience, because no matter how many years each of us has worked, you will still learn from other people. So no one has it all at any point in time. So, and also, for example, one of the things that I learned from, although that I do coaching, and I've been working for over 20 years now, and I sometimes coach people who are still in college or very early in their careers, I admit that I do learn from them. So you're never too old or too big to learn from someone else.
Yeah. That is very, very true. Simi or Debbie, do you have any insights on what are the most common errors and that they should watch out for early in tech or early in careers rather?
Yeah, I do. And Mena has highlighted something that, I'm so glad that he did. Collaboration is very important because, like she also mentioned, different people are coming with different experiences, with different skill sets, and there's just a lot that you can learn from so many people. Even people that are not even in, say, tech fields, you learn things from sales, marketing, accounting, different things. Another thing that I would also say is that, and I think I struggled with this when I started out, was try different things, do that, try different things. But when you know what you want to do your best to be fantastic at it. Don't try to just surface level learning. Drill down to really understand what you're doing, drill down to a point where you're providing very good value, drill down to a point where you're actually skilled. Craftsmanship, it's a skill that you have to hone, you have to constantly learn, reinvent yourself. Like, I'm not sure, I think it was Rama that also mentioned it, tech changes very quickly. It's 1 second your job is hot cake, and then 5 years down the line, it's probably you need to do some more work to reinvent yourself and still be relevant. So yeah, definitely there are key points that everyone's mentioned, Debbie, Mena, Rama, myself, and these all come from our different experiences. So I guess my advice is just like take all these things, and these, points that we're also making, they can differ for different people's life paths and different people's conditions. Like I'm saying, pick up projects. Someone who hasn't eaten can't pick up a project. So just pick what you need. Yeah, we're all giving you advice and all of that. We all have different paths. I studied elect. I can't change a light bulb to save my life. But just always pivot, reinvent yourself, check back, what's going right, what's going wrong. But when you figure out what you want to do, just make sure that you're going into it 100%, and hopefully the universe will be kind to you.
Let's hope. I think the universe is always kind if we put in the work. So Debbie, on your side, let's go for it. What are some of the common mistakes in the career that we should watch out for in early careers?
Okay, first, I would like to say that Mena and Simi have said, I think you said it all. I just want to add a little thing to what you said. I think one of the first things is that a lot of times when we're starting out, we're always too careful to make mistakes. But we keep forgetting that without mistakes, right, we won't be set in some ways on what we're going to. So I think you should be open to make mistakes, be open to trying things, right? But please be careful. I didn't say you should make very costly mistakes, like ruin your company's design system, no. But take calculated risks, make mistakes that are redeemable, and just try out things. So don't be too careful, right? Because if you're too careful, a lot of times you won't take up some opportunities or roles that would actually be an eye opener for you, that will actually take you somewhere else, right? So please take opportunities. Also reach out. Like Mena talked about collaboration. A lot of times, some collaborations will happen when you reach out, right? Because there are times you will need some things, but they don't even know. So when you reach out, they know and you get do what they have to do. And also, the most important is be committed. Because I see that a lot of times people come and say, I want to join tech, and then next thing they're running away because you give them very little assignment of, go and read up on so and decide. So please be committed. There's nothing like being committed to it's your life. So just yourself as the driver of your life. If you don't drive it well, it's in your hands. If you drive it well, it's in your hands. Because so everything you're doing, you actually want to be able to start at an international stage and say, yes, this is my work, this is it. You don't just want to be mediocre and just be one person in one corner of some place in the world. That you want to be able to stand on international stage, work on international brands and all of that. So please put in the work, and be committed. That's it for me.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Simi, Debbie, and Mena. I really enjoyed the conversation that we had, and I'm sure our participants also enjoyed it. We'd like to move on with the program, and I'll just move it back to Joy to take us in. But thank you again so much, Mena, Debbie, and Simi. I really enjoyed it, and hopefully we'll be connecting soon.
Sure.
Thank you so much, Ntkozo, Simi, Mena, and Debbie. It's as though you have known each other for years. You all did a great job, and we're really excited about that. Like, my notes are full up right now. Like, I've been taking a lot of notes, and I hope you also have jotted. So please kindly tweet the nuggets you've learned from this session via social media. Please use the hashtag Women Techsters Open Day. And in the next 15 minutes, we should be done with this meeting. So please do not go anywhere. I'll be going over some opportunities. I know many people have been asking. From the chat, I saw that some of you have been asking, how do I go into tech? And you've been wondering, what opportunities, what resources can I access? And so I'll be going over some of the opportunities that Women Techsters have available for you to access, and you can leverage before. And after that, I'll now have a little chat with someone that has gone through our program. Damiloju, she's on the call, and she'll tell you about her experience. And in case you're actually learning tech and you're finding it difficult, some of the things she did to get to where she is today. So we have 4 major programs under the Women Techsters Initiative, and they are the fellowship program, the open day, that like we have it today, we have the boot camp, and the masterclass. So in the next 5 minutes, I'll go over them and I'll try not to shoot time. So the open day programs are opportunities where we just talk to women about the different tracks they can explore. We have industry experts, we have executive speakers like Rama and the industry experts that are here today to talk about their own experiences, the challenges, the opportunities for women in tech. And during the open day, women, you get to learn a lot. You get to connect with them, opportunities to, get to connect with them, to get to learn about the different initiatives, different things that the women Techsters are doing and how you can leverage from them. And you could also invite your sisters, your friends to join the open day event. And it's for women aged between 16 to 40. And it's open to opportunity. This opportunity is open to women across Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa, and Egypt, and Kenya. 5 countries this year. We have a goal of reaching 10,000 women this year, and we are increasing the numbers as the year runs by until we get to 5 million women by 2030. So it's actually a big goal, and there's room for everyone to benefit from. We have master classes. Master classes are 2 days events where we have an expert professional, take a deep dive into a certain topic, and try to teach people that are already in the industry. So for instance, someone like Simi could be a masterclass facilitator, and then where we have product design enthusiasts register to attend the masterclass carried out by Simi on a certain topic in product design. So that's how the masterclass is designed. So it happens over the weekend on Saturdays and Sundays for 3 hours daily, and for 2 days, right? For 2 days, weekends, once every 2 months, that bi-monthly trainings. We also have boot camps. Boot camps are 2 weeks intensive training that introduces you into tech. So for the boot camp program, you mustn't have an experience at all. You just come as you are and register. The only thing you need to do is to have the right motivation and come with the right motivation and have a laptop, have access to internet to attend the bootcamp program. In 2 weeks, we have testimonies of people that have gotten internship placement after 2 weeks with us. Like the moved on to assess relevant coding skills, jumpstart careers. So even start up your own tech company. I a chat, there was a message, tech company, and that's Debbie Red. She's running a full-time job that's out of career in tech, and she's asking if it's possible to run a career in tech. What advice can we give to her? So for someone like Debbie Red, rather than quit your job, you can program. Do not quit your job. I would advise you not to quit your job, but create time to attend the program. If possible, take a leave. If you have such similar question as Debbie Red, you know how to venture into tech, please apply for the bootcamp. The application is still ongoing. After now, you get more information on how to apply. By the comms team, they'll come over with some announcements on the bootcamp. So that's actually a very, very good opportunity for you to leverage to further your career and to transition into a full-time tech career. So we also have the fellowship program. The fellowship is a year-long program, it's 1 year, and we currently ongoing right now, is running right now. It's a year-long coding program, spread over for 12 months. We have 4 months in a tech organization for 6 months, and then mentorship opportunities. If you enroll into the fellowship program, you get to meet wonderful women like Mena, Simi, industry experts that are already gone ahead to hold your hands and take you through the process of how the went into tech, and even address some challenges you may be having in between. You also get to for us at Tech for Dev, we believe you still need a little bit of tech soft skills to keep you in those job roles. So we get to facilitate soft skills training for our fellows. So please follow us on social media, to get more information about this call for application. Whenever we have call for applications, we roll them out online and you can leverage them. Okay. So for those of you that have been asking for the LinkedIn profile for the panelists, please do not worry. We're going to share them with you via email as long as you registered for the open day event, you get an email containing all this information, even the link to this request session. And you can also check our YouTube, at Tech for Dev, search for Tech for Dev at YouTube and watch our previous open day events. You could learn a thing or two. Okay, so now it's time for our interview session with our alumni. I'll be calling on Oladiwura. She is a cybersecurity analyst with core focus in penetration testing and vulnerability assessment. She currently works as a penetration tester with Upgraded Era, and she was one of the finalists at the MTN Telco Hackathon. WJ started her tech career in 2017, and she has joined the Women Techsters training in 2018, and she learned web development. She's from Ogun State, Nigeria. She loves working with startups, and when she's not working, she's traveling or watching soccer or lawn tennis. I'm glad to also inform you that Damuloju and I joined the Women Techsters program, the bootcamp program in 2018. We both enrolled in web development, and I'm happy to have her join me today. She's actually a bosom friend. Hi, Damuloju. Please unmute yourself and let's talk. Let's talk a bit about your background and your career.
Hi, good evening.
Hello.
It's nice to be there.
Good evening. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
You look so beautiful. You look better than when we were. You look better than when we were learning how to code. I remember how.
It's been 3 years.
It's been 3 years, yeah.
Growth.
So tell me, how has it been?
It's been great. It's been good. Challenging.
Tell me about that growth from web development to now being a cybersecurity analyst.
Okay, yeah. So I joined the Women's Techsters in 2018. In December 2018, it was really fun. It was the boot camp. It was really exciting, because it was like my second stage in tech generally. My first stage was actually doing the Code Lagos. I signed in for the Java class, but unfortunately we couldn't end the class because the government scrapped it. So it was just like a 2 weeks course. But then I saw the opportunity to join the Tech for Dev bootcamp, and it was really amazing. During this program, I signed up for the web development. I met a lot of good people, including Joy. And during this period, I improved on my communications and my soft skills. As of now, I can happily say that I can present in front of anybody, no matter who you are. But in 2018, I couldn't because, I was still in my shell. And yeah, it's been a great journey. In 2018, I started my cybersecurity career. I did some courses, and yeah, I'm here now, a penetration tester.
Thank you. So you've told me the good side of it. Tell me, how was it really for you? What did you actually do to get, because I know people really summarize their story. So tell me, those 3 years, right? I know my own experience. I know how I've transitioned into the development space because I actually started from the dev space, and I found myself back in the dev space, right? So, but for you, you still stayed in tech and cybersecurity analyst. Tell us the in-between stories.
Okay, so it was really challenging because at first, for me to find my way to cybersecurity, I had to go to a lot of schools, a lot of training centers to know if they do cybersecurity courses. And then they were turning me down. They said I should go do remotely, and remotely online teaching doesn't work very well with me. I'm the type of person that I learn more when I'm in class. So I finally found myself in New Horizon. Yeah, they said they do cybersecurity trainings. It was seriously tough because the money, as at that time, the money was there, but still, for someone that doesn't know a lot in tech, it was really challenging. But at the same time, I found myself in a community of friends, community that always puts me through. Anytime I have issues, I always run to them. I don't understand this, I don't understand that. They'll pull me through. And then I also use a lot of pages on a lot of subscriptions on YouTube, and also some some Twitter handles. Those people also helped me. But yeah, it's been good all the same.
Thank you. Okay, so I think I'll just ask you two more questions because of want of time. So I want to really find out. You studied business administration, and now you are a cybersecurity analyst. Why cybersecurity? Because you showed how you were going from one place to the other, trying to look for this training opportunities. Because really, I know that we've had a cybersecurity masterclass, and we didn't really get as much people turn up, as much women turn up as they did for the data science masterclass and other trainings that we have. Yeah. So why cybersecurity? Why was it a thing for you?
Okay. So sometime in 2018, I was a victim of cyber theft. I was about to make payments to my colleague where I was serving, and then I just noticed the money was not in my account anymore. Wow. So I went to the bank to complain. They kept on posting me this, that. So I just told myself that, how is it that this money got missing and nobody can find where this money went? So I started researching, and then that's where I learned about cybersecurity. So my reason for moving from business administration to cybersecurity is to protect those around me from being victims of cyber thefts, just like I was in 2018. Yeah.
Thank you very much for being passionate and and being very wise for making such decision. And I'm glad you did, because of you, more people out there are being protected and from cyber theft. So one question: we have people in the fellowship program, in the Women Techsters fellowship program, and they're on the call right now. And I know some of them I know a number of them that are actually struggling to keep up with the training. That staying awake to code at night, to study, to watch the recordings from the session. Is really you pass through that stage and you know how it is, right? Yeah. So just one of your last, like, final words. What advice do you have for women like that have actually started out? They have started a journey into tech, but they feel fatigued. They feel like dropping off. For you, what was your experience, and how were you able to stay up until this moment?
So personally, for me, I'm this type of person that I learn well when I'm with friends amongst me. When we start talking about this, I learn well. So for me, first thing, you have to be really into tech. Secondly, you have to find yourself in a community, whether your friends, whether people you don't know, whether as an association, whether something like Tech for Dev, just, a community of people that are always there to answer your questions, And then thirdly, YouTube should be your friend. There are a lot of free resources on YouTube that you should use daily. And again, just don't give up, because when you're there, tech is rewarding. It's really rewarding.
Thank you so much, Damiloju. Thank you. I'm really happy because this is the first time I'm having someone from our set, come around, and I'm really grateful. Thank you very much for coming. I'm so happy to see how far we have grown, and we use the same pathway, right, to arrive at our destination. We use tech, we leverage tech for to become who we are becoming, because actually there's no arriving, right? So thank you very much for sharing your story. Thank you very much for coming to the Women Techsters Open Day event.